This week's lineup was absolutely insane, so let's get it. What's good, guys? Hunter here and welcome back to Fragrance Hunter. Hope you're all doing good. The week's over, which you already know means we're gonna be talking about some bangers when it comes to fragrances, but I hope all you guys had a good week. I definitely did, especially since the weather is finally starting to cool off, guys, and it's starting to actually feel like fall, which, as we all know, fall season is the goated season when it comes to fragrances. Now, if you are new to the series, we basically just run down what fragrance we're wearing each day, how many sprays I did, the kind of weather outside, and of course, if that fragrance got any attention at all. So before we go ahead and get into my weekly list, drop your list down below. Let's get right into Monday. Monday was in the high 60s and sunny outside, and I pulled out French Avenue's Vulcan Faux, which I literally just dropped my review of this one like yesterday at the time of this recording, guys. And if you love God of Fire, you have to know about Vulcan Faux because this is a god tier dupe of God of Fire when it comes down to it. That mango, very tropical, fruity, ultra sweet, that has some ginger in there as well, a little bit of citrusy kind of lemon. And of course, when you think of mango fragrances, you literally think of God of Fire because that's the mango dominant fragrance on the market now. That's why there's so many dupes of it. But if you don't want to spend $300 on a bottle of that, you have to check out Vulcan Faux, guys. This is 1-to-1 when it comes to that scent profile. And it seems like French Avenue barely ever misses, guys. It gotta be one of the best dupe houses now when it comes to capturing that scent profile, and especially when it comes to the quality as well too. On the day, however, I did do 10 sprays of Vulcan Faux, hit up the gym, which, I mean, this could be a pretty decent gym fragrance if you want to smell like a fruity mango. Even though 10 sprays, you definitely don't need that much with this scent profile, guys. It's such a loud projecting fragrance, you can get away with only like 5 sprays. Even though I like to overspray my fragrances to get a full wearing experience, plus I don't really care what other people think around me, to be honest. But that's what I brought for Monday, is French Avenue's Vulcan Faux. Let me know down below if you've tried this one. Tuesday was also in the high 60s and sunny as well, and I pulled out Javoy Parfums Incident Diplomatic. Guys, you would know if you've been watching my channel for the last couple of weeks, I've been obsessed with the house of Javoy, quickly becoming one of my favorite niche houses out there, guys, that are so underrated, like literally criminally underrated when it comes to this brand, guys. Psychedelic is the best patchouli I've ever tried in my life, and to be honest with you, this might be one of the best vetivers I've ever tried in my life as well. And that's a bold statement, but man, is it true. This one opens up with this kind of fruity, fresh mandarin orange, but it quickly dries down into this very dry, grassy, almost smoky type of vetiver, guys, like a vetiver overload scent DNA with Incident Diplomatic, with a little bit of this kind of spicy nutmeg, and you're gonna get that patchouli you find from a psychedelic thrown into the dry down of this one as well. So you already know this is an absolute banger, especially if you love those very masculine vetiver patchouli fragrances. You have to do yourself a favor and check this beauty out, guys. I'm not even joking. Plus, if you do want to save some money, they have these over at Scent Split, where you can use code HUNTER10 to save 10% off at checkout on pretty much everything on Scent Split, which has a huge niche catalog, like one of the best niche catalogs in the game. I'm talking like ultra niche stuff as well. Plus, I think they're running a special right now. If you buy 100 ml Javoy, you get a 15 ml spray bottle completely free, which I think retails for around 60 bucks in and of itself. Plus, code HUNTER10 is going to save you 10% off of everything. So literally, forget about it. Every other vetiver you've tried in your life, and get your nose on Incident Diplomatic. Now, on Tuesday, I actually only did do 5 sprays of this one. It's very strong and completely in your face, and I kind of just chilled out on Tuesday. Don't recall doing that much, but you already know I was smelling excellent, guys. So that's what I put out for Tuesday. Wednesday was a little bit chillier, in the low 60s and cloudy outside, and I put out Super's Budapest Unique Blue, my absolute favorite fresh fragrances from Super's Budapest, easily, guys, and one of the newer creations. But man, Unique Blue is absolutely what that name says, guys. It's a ultra unique take on a blue fragrance, which I know is rare to do nowadays because there's so many blues out there, so many redundant blues, and it's kind of hard to stand apart. But this one right here literally does. You get this tropical pineapple, a very sweet kind of Japanese yuzu with some aquatic notes, a lot of sea salt sprinkled on top as well. And I also think there's that tropical passion fruit thrown in here too, guys. So pineapple, passion fruit, yuzu, aquatic notes, and a ton of like this sea salt with a little bit of this zesty kind of uplifting spicy ginger thrown into a unique blue as well. And that makes it unique without a doubt, guys. You're not gonna find another scent profile quite like this one. And if you ask me what is the best fresh fragrance from Supers, if you could only get one, it is unique blue. And check it out with code HUNTER10 on the website. You already know. And believe me, you're not gonna be disappointed with the purchase. Now, on that day, I did do 5 sprays of unique blue. Also hit up the gym. This is an excellent gym fragrance, guys. And I only did 5 sprays because if you don't know, the sprayers with Supers is equivalent to like 2 or 3 sprays from a regular sprayer. So this stuff shoots out a ton of juice, so be careful. Yeah, I can't get enough of unique blue, guys, and that's what I chose to wear for Wednesday. Thursday was the coldest day of the week in the low 60s, but sunny outside, and I pulled out one of my first loves, and it is Jo Malone's Myrrh and Tonka. I know I've been kind of neglecting my Jo Malone fragrances, guys, but wow, have I missed Myrrh and Tonka, especially because I've owned this bottle for probably over 5 years now, and I'm telling you right now, this stuff has turned so potent, so dense, and very dark. Like the juice color in here, guys, is so dark and has just become an absolute myrrh beast. Now this one does open up with this kind of aromatic creamy lavender right away in the opening, but quickly transitions into that resinous smoky myrrh, spicy kind of sweet vanilla, and a little bit of this kind of nutty almond vibe, which is creamy in and of itself as well, guys. And a ton of that kind of powdery tonka beans thrown into the DNA, because primarily you're getting the myrrh and tonka, just like that name suggests as well. But without a doubt, one of my favorite fragrances from Jo Malone alongside Oud and Bergamot, which I love both of these creations. But I'm telling you, I wish you could see how dark my juice color is after sitting for around 5 years, guys. It's so dense. So if you're looking for probably one of the best myrrh fragrances on the market, you had to check out Jo Malone's take on it, because this one's literally heavenly, guys. Now on Thursday, I also only did do 5 sprays of this as well, guys. Like I said, did not need more than 5 sprays with this potent beast. And it's funny too, because most Jo Malones don't perform the best at all, because majority of them are like eau de colognes, guys, very lowly concentrated. But geez, after they sit for a while, you're gonna be mind blown how potent and strong these become. So yeah, that's what I rock for Thursday is Myrrh and Tonka from Jo Malone. Friday happened to be in the mid 60s and cloudy outside, and I pulled out Mind Games Queening, which was not a love at first sniff, guys. You would know that if you caught my review of this one, because I sort of gave it a negative review, and that's only because of the opening behind Queening, guys. Has this kind of cheap smelling fruity apple vibe with like cotton, and kind of gives off like a Bath and Body Works hand soap kind of vibe, which you do not expect from a fragrance of this price tag, of course. And apple is a hard note to kind of work with to actually make it smell expensive, because most of the time it does come across smelling like a cheap hand soap like it does in Queening. And this one got a ton of hype. It's probably one of the most hyped up fragrances from Mind Games, and honestly I'm not really sure why. And that's kind of why I wore it again on Friday to kind of rediscover it, give it another shot. I still really can't get over that opening, guys, but as it dries down, it does turn far better. You get like this boozy rum, spicy saffron, sweet creamy vanilla, and that coconut, which, hey, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, the base is actually more important than the opening, because the opening only mostly lasts like an hour or 2 at tops, but most of the time it's like 30 minutes. So you're left with the base the majority of the life of the fragrance, and thank goodness the base of this one is pretty good. And I wore this one because I went out on Friday, kind of ran around and did some shopping, etc. And I kind of was in the mood for a vanilla, and this is their take on vanilla from Mind Games. So I was like, you know what, why not? Also did do 10 sprays of Queening. The performance really isn't the best as well, especially while being in Extrait de Parfum. You expect this one to last all day, like 12 or so hours, but it really isn't the case. So I don't know, man. When it comes down to it, I really don't understand the hype behind Queening, to be honest. Mind Games has so many far better fragrances than this one right here. But drop your favorite Mind Games down below, because of course they have so many bangers in the lineup. But that's what I chose to wear for Friday. I don't know what happened, but Saturday was in the high 70s and sunny outside, and I put out a new fragrance I just purchased that week, and it is Cutlet's Chiaka Shadow. Now, if you know me, guys, honestly, Cutlet's the last couple releases have been a miss for me. Like Vanilla Dunes wasn't the biggest fan of. Dreams definitely was not the biggest fan of. Also like Blue Spice, which was inspired by Imagination, not the biggest fan of. So I kind of wanted to give Cutledge another chance with this one, guys, because I've been pretty disappointed with the brand, as you would know from my reviews. But man, Shiaka Shadow is actually a hit and kind of changed my mind about Cutledge a little bit, to be honest with you guys, because this one smells excellent. You get this bright citrusy grapefruit, spicy pink pepper, and lavender right off of the bat. I think it is inspired by Bad Boy by Carolina Herrera, which I've honestly never tried that I recall, so I'm not really sure how to base that on, but it is almost in the same realm as something like Dior Sauvage, etc. It's in that genre of family of fragrances. But it also does dry down to this kind of patchouli, earthy oak moss, and amber base. And you notice what's missing out of this fragrance is the ambroxan, because every single fragrance I'm not a fan of from Cutledge has ambroxan in it, and I think they're using this kind of cheaper ambroxan that kind of smells a little bit weird to me from Dreams, Vanilla Dunes, and Blue Spice, but no ambroxan in this one, and it's a banger from Cutledge, guys. I'm not even joking. This stuff is good. Probably my favorite fragrance from Cutledge at this time. I might have to check out some others from the Shiaka line because they do have a few in this lineup, but also did do 10 sprays of Shadow. The performance was pretty good as well, guys. Very, very much crowd pleasing. Will last you the majority of the day. The projection is there too. So if you're looking for a fresh, compliment getting fragrance that isn't gonna break the bank and almost gives off F-boy vibes, you had to check out Shiaka Shadow, guys. This one is excellent. Wrapping the week off on Sunday, was in the low 70s and rainy outside, and I pulled out Maison Margiela's Jazz Club, which I literally just got in as well, added to the collection, guys. And I've been wanting Jazz Club for so many years now. So finally got this beauty in the collection alongside all of my other Maison Margielas. Of course, my beloved By the Fireplace, the new Celestial Whispers, which is excellent. But Jazz Club, guys, to be honest, I thought this one was a little bit darker the last couple of times I've tried this one, like years and years ago. So I don't know if it's been reformulated or what. It actually opens up pretty fresh from like this fresh green neroli, a little bit of lemon, pink pepper, but does kind of quickly dry down to that boozy rum, that earthy kind of cherry pipe tobacco, but it's still more of a fresher take on tobacco as well, guys. It's not that earthy or rugged, with of course that kind of sweet, spicy, creamy vanilla base along with the tobacco. But in my memory, I definitely remember this one being heavier and darker than it actually is. So I don't know, like I said, they reformulated this one or it has to sit for a while or anything like that, guys, because this one is brand new. But yeah, a kind of fresh tobacco, boozy type of fragrance that's perfect for chilling at a jazz club or a cigar lounge and drinking some rum, smoking a cigar. That's the vibe this gives off, plus pretty classy as well. On Sunday, also did do 10 sprays of Jazz Club. The performance isn't really the best, of course, being a Maison Margiela. For some reason, these are only eau de toilette, which I never understood, guys. These should at least be an eau de parfum, especially for the price they're charging for these now. Plus, who makes a boozy rum, tobacco, vanilla fragrance in EDT nowadays? But I guess they're kind of stuck with that because this has been around for so many years now, and they can't reformulate it and make it an EDP unless they're gonna change it into a new flanker, which I don't see them doing at all, to be honest. That's always been my one gripe with Maison Margiela, is the concentration only being an EDT. Because lately, I don't even mess with EDTs, guys. EDTs are only good when it comes to those bright, summery, refreshing citrus type of fragrances, not vanilla, booze, and tobacco, or even like fall and winter fragrances either, guys. EDTs have a very hard time pushing through those cold, snowy winter months. Of course, you want something strong and potent when it's cold outside. So brands, stick to EDTs for those refreshing summer fragrances and stick to eau de parfums or extraits for those cold kind of weather, fall, winter type of fragrances like Jazz Club is. I digress, guys. Still a pretty good scent profile, even though it's lighter than I kind of remember. But besides that, that's gonna do it for my weekly rotation. If you haven't already, drop your rotation down below because I wanna see what you guys are rocking with, because most of the time you guys are also pulling out absolute bangers. Some stuff I've never even heard of myself, which I love to see. But besides that, leave a like, subscribe below if you haven't already as well, because I got you with daily fragrance content. And of course, I'll catch all of you back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody.